Welcome back, everyone, to our online program on the opioid crisis and our response to it. And the sad thing is that in spite of all our efforts, which have included millions of dollars, remarkable numbers of hours for healthcare workers, paramedics, to deal with this crisis, the number of deaths in which fentanyl is being detected is actually increasing. And so we're just looking at some of the issues revolving around our response and how well they're working. And one of the things that I keep hearing about is the concept of we need more enforcement. So we know that British Columbia sent a delegation to Ottawa to try to convince the federal government here to put more money and more energy into blocking shipments from overseas, this fentanyl drug. We've heard of harsher prison sentences for fentanyl dealers. In other words, this idea of enforcement is actually part of this sort of prohibitionist ideology that we latch onto, that somehow if we could just have more police officers, more harsher sentences, more control, prevent the drug from coming in, then somehow this would have a huge effect. And to a point, that's true. But I think it's always important to point out that this thing, for example, called prohibition in the United States, I mean, really, how much profound effect did it have on the level of alcoholism back then, right? So from 1920 to 1933, the United States basically made alcohol illegal. And yet those people who were interested in getting drunk didn't seem to have too much difficulty actually finding a place. So there was this enormous black market that came in to fill the vacuum. And the same thing seems to be with fentanyl, in fact, pretty much any drug, is that once a vacuum is created, that there will be substances come in to fill it. So we gotta wonder how much all this enforcement and everything is really going to do to curb this crisis that we're going through right now. Anyway, it is a common thing that we hear every time we talk about a drug crisis is we need much more enforcement. Anyway, that's it for this episode, and we'll be back next time with another episode on the opioid crisis.